I have been running my clothing brand since 2018, but I still don't feel like I'm in the position that I should be in. So in this video, I am going to be covering 9 things that I would do differently if I was to start my clothing brand again. My name is Taddy D, and on this channel, I share what it's truly like to run a clothing brand, as well as dropping tips, tricks, gems, and all of that good stuff. Number 1, I would launch with 2 products and I would push them hard. When I first had my proper launch of a proper collection, I launched with a whopping 11 products, which meant that I had 11 products that I had to market. And as a person that was running my clothing brand by myself, that is a lot of work to do for one person. So I would definitely launch with 1 or 2 products. And with the relaunch of my clothing brand, this is definitely something that I am deeply considering. Number 2, I wouldn't spend a stupid amount of money on having these luxury boxes for my clothing brand. I don't feel like this was necessary. The other day I purchased something and my garment that I purchased was £200 and that still came in a poly mailer bag. I unpackaged it, I tried on my garment, and that was absolutely fine. I wasn't even bothered at the fact that it came in a poly mailer bag because I wanted that garment and the garment was still very good quality. It just came in a poly mailer bag. So definitely investing in those luxury navy blue, absolutely stunning if I do say so myself, boxes was definitely unnecessary. I would stick as a sole trader and not a private limited company. I definitely wasn't in a position where I needed to be a private limited company. Obviously, if you're earning thousands upon thousands, then registering as a private limited company is the way forward. But to start off with, I would stay as a sole trader until I get to a certain point where I feel like I need to be a private limited company. And in saying that, I would track my expenses a lot more accurately and be a lot more strict when it comes to looking at the money that is coming in and out of my business. Continuing with that financial aspect of things and registering for stuff, I wouldn't voluntarily register for VAT. At the time, it seemed like a good idea. I'd spoken to people, they were like, no, it's a great idea, you should definitely do it. You are a product-based business, you would definitely benefit from it. Shouldn't have done it. In fact, the other day, because I haven't been trading for so long, I actually deregistered. At this point, it's just not necessary. Number 5, and I feel like this is a little bit controversial, but I wouldn't be so fixated on branding and be more fixated on selling. Now let me land, because I know people jump on here and they'll be saying branding's important. Don't get me wrong, branding is incredibly important, but what I mean in my case is that I was so fixated on the way the brand comes across. It meant that I was restricting myself in terms of what I would post on social media, which meant that I wasn't getting into the swing of selling. Everything had to be well thought out, everything had to be clean, everything had to be aesthetic, which meant that the volume of which I was posting stuff wasn't good enough, which meant that I wasn't giving myself the opportunity to market enough to sell the products because I was so fixated on the way my brand came across. And definitely with my relaunch, I am not going to be so fixated on branding. I'm just going to post whatever, especially on TikTok. Even on TikTok, which I know is a platform where I am able to be a bit more relaxed, I still wasn't relaxed when it came to posting things in relation to my clothing brand. Well, on to number 6, I would aim for that mid-market price point. It's definitely a lot more accessible, especially for the target audience that naturally I was going to target. Would I have bought a t-shirt for £75? I am not so sure. But would I buy a t-shirt for £40? Absolutely. Maybe not for myself, but definitely for my partner. So I would tap into that mid-market range, which nicely ties into my point 7. I would get away from the word luxury. Just throw it away. Luxury is so done. Like, I don't even feel like my brand was luxury. I wasn't at that luxury price point. So why was I calling my brand luxury? Everything I was doing in relation to branding and stuff was teetering on luxury, having those boxes, having a nice website, being very controlling when it comes to content. But I feel like all of that definitely restricted me and definitely definitely put a hole in my budget. I mean, even when it came to doing my pop-ups were really good. I had one on Oxford Street and I had one on Piccadilly. Even having a pop-up on Oxford Street on Piccadilly was because, again, I was trying to be luxury, trying to maintain that branding. And I don't think there was anything wrong because those were really successful pop-ups. But the amount of money that I had to spend in order to come across as luxury in that space, it was a lot. I was up and down Facebook Marketplace looking for nice rugs, nice tables, building things from scratch. Like, it was a lot, and that was all in the name of luxury. It's been almost 10 years. I have done a lot on this business journey. Number 8, I would find multiple manufacturers that are going to be able to produce my garments for me. Relying on one manufacturer is definitely risky. I haven't had an issue per se with it. My manufacturer that I was using from Italy was incredibly reliable. But I feel like because I have moved away from European manufacturing, I feel like I am definitely going to need to have more than one manufacturer that I could rely on to bring my brand to life. And the final thing that I would do differently is validate my product before ordering in bulk. This is particularly true when it came to my dress collection. If you watched my previous video, you will see that my dress collection didn't perform as well. And that's because I didn't validate this product before I went ahead and placed the bulk order, before I went ahead and launched it. Taking some time to validate your idea, to validate your design. I think with t-shirts, it's really easy to do so because you could just pop your design on a garment template and post that on your socials, post that on your website, and that could be a form of seeking validation for that design. Alternatively, you can order like a blank t-shirt in the cut and fit that you want. If you want a website that has like a good variety of blank garments, definitely check out Tap Stitch. This is not sponsored by them, by the way, but I will have them linked in my resources in my description. I would go ahead and use that platform, design my t-shirt, order it, get it sent to me, and start posting content with that t-shirt. That is a way that you can start validating that design. Maybe you can use the sample that you work on as content to start validating that design. But yeah, that is pretty much 9 things that I would do differently if I had the opportunity to start again. I really hope that this video has been helpful for you guys and you have learned a thing or two from my mistakes. That is why I'm here. That is why I create this content. It is genuinely to help you guys out. Thank you guys so much for clicking to watch this video, and thank you for your continued support. I hope you can see that I am back consistent on this channel, and I hope my viewership begins to reflect that, because guys, your good sis has been struggling with the views on YouTube. Like, my goodness, what is happening? What is actually happening? Hopefully with the consistency, I am able to start getting my views to be a little bit more where they used to be in the past. But yeah, please like this video, please subscribe, please comment, because it really helps my channel and I can hopefully start getting my views back up to what they used to be. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my very next video. Bye.